And hello, we should all be here. I think we are. Welcome to Band of Badges. I'm Dave, your host for this evening, and this is the Great British Brush Off. How are you doing, everybody?
Good, thank you. You?
Good. I'm okay, thank you, Joe. Thank you much for asking.
At least one of us. Do you know what I mean?
At least one of you there. People are breaking up. So joining me around the paint pot, as always, is Steve and Joe. If you watch any of our other episodes, we are all kind of amateur-ish in different scales. I'm at the bottom, but I'm getting on with it. And joining us this session is superstar artist James Regan from Redgrass Games. How you doing, James?
Very good. Thank you very much for having me again.
It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure. It makes a difference when someone's in the same time zone. There's less pressure, and you feel less guilty, especially when they're up. Don Serratos got up at 3 a.m. to join us. He woke up the rooster. Yeah.
Oh.
He was up so early. He woke up the roosters. Yeah, that's dedication to the Badgers. Yeah, definitely. So glad you've come back and ready for more punish. I don't know. You don't get punished. I mean, we don't get punished. But it's just, I don't know, something nice and calm, and to do some painting, hang out, chill, talk about crap, whatever we want to do. It's all good. Right. So thank you to WizKids for providing some minis. We'll get back into these in a second. Thank you to Vallejo for providing the paints. But most of all, thank you for you or to you. I'm not sure anymore. Thank you for watching. We're just in September. For some reason, the UK today has hit a bit of a heat wave. So we're very kind of sticky and warm and hot and muggy. Now, if you didn't already know, Band of Badgers, we support writers, artists, designers and creators across all of our shows, across the entire world, the planet, man. And you can find all of our content on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/bandofbadgers. So that means that if you have an RPG game or a related product, or you would like us to feature it here, maybe we could do a live unboxing, maybe we could do a live Q&A with you, maybe you even have a Kickstarter kicking off soon. If you have and you would like us to share it with the world, all you have to do is get in touch, and we're happy to support you as much as we can. In that, we also have guest player spots and guest GM spots. Now, the GM spots is something that's fairly new, so get in touch if you would like to kind of show off your own kind of product or whatever you want to do. Whatever it is you want to do, get in touch. So if you would like to support us in return, you can. In all the usual places, we have Twitch subs, Patreon, merchandise, and even an Amazon wish list. And there we go. Introduction is done. Introduction is over. Now we can talk about the good stuff, which is this. So this is what we're painting today. This is from WizKids. This is the Pathfinder Battles collection from Paizo. You'll get a closer look when we switch the screens around. But this is the Belize and the Astral Diva. This is a twin set. This is really, really cool set. You've got transparent wings and flames and a giant warhammer. Lots of feathery wings going on. This is the back, so you can see the colour schemes. But as I said, we are going to rip this open in a sec. James, would you like to tell the audience your plans for us this evening? That sounds a little bit naughty. It's to do with the miniatures, so let's keep it clean, people. Let's keep it clean.
What do I think first, Master?
It's the heat. That's what it is. It's the heat.
Uh-huh.
And so, perhaps somewhat appropriately, we are going to be trying to do glow effects on these models. We'll start with the hammer, as I was saying to Joe before the show, and we'll try and make it look like it's glowing. It seems appropriate for these kind of celestial beings to have these kind of flaming weapons. And then if we've got time, then we'll try and do the flame effects on these wings as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dave has mentioned about the heat. So this process relies a lot on speed, and obviously acrylics don't do too well in the heat. But I'm sure we can muddle through. So we've got things like mediums, like glaze mediums, or if you've got flow improver, anything that will help slow down the drying time will help if you're currently encountering heat problems. And of course, a wet palette always helps as well.
Yep.
So that's the plan. And if it doesn't happen, we'll make something else work.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to switch the cameras around now. I can see Chav Hunter in the audience. Thank you very much for joining us, Chav. What I'm going to ask you to do, though, Chav, is if you would let me know if the music is too loud. I've put on some little chill out background music for our audience. So let me know if it's too loud. In the meantime, I can quickly crack open my mini because I haven't opened my mini yet. The other guys have cheated. And I'm going to open the mini. Sorry for the noise. Let's put that off. Don't need that. I'll keep my card for reference. Here we go. Right.
After we finished, remind me to talk to you about the sound, music, because I found something interesting out that's probably really boring to talk about on the stream. So,
Okay, cool. Oh, the wings are attached. I did not know that. I don't know if that was supposed to happen, but my wings have fallen off.
Oh.
They are detachable.
And the music isn't on the stream, by the way.
No, there's no music on the stream.
No.
Apparently it's pumping up through mine. Let's try...
Nope, looks like the wings are attached on mine.
Okay.
So.
I've just turned the music up, so again, let me know if, just in case you do.
I'll turn the sound back on. I'll let you know shortly.
So, what colours were you going to be using, James, with the glow effect?
Right, excellent question. So the beautiful thing about especially flame effects is that there are a range of companies that do brilliant kind of red to white colours that we can use for flames. Just conveniently, I happen to like using the Vallejo ones, and I know you guys have got a lot of Vallejo ones anyway, so I'll run through those. But if there's people who are like, firmly in the Citadel camp, just let us know, because I can tell you some equivalencies. So I'm starting with a. Help, I can keep it quickly. I'm starting with Gory Red by Vallejo, because it's a nice, rich, dark red. Then we'll try to go into Flat Red, which is basically Gory Red is kind of sort of towards the purpler end, so it's very dark, whereas Flat Red is just kind of a red colour.
I have a blood red. That's what mine's called a blood red. Yeah. Or I've got scarlet red, which is much darker.
Yeah. And then I've got Amaranth Red, which is actually an orange. It's kind of same kind of colour as the red grass lid, so that's our orange. Then I've got a light yellow. And then I've got this white. Although it's actually really more of a kind of a cream. It's an off-white. Wherever possible, I always try to avoid pure white or pure black. Try not to use them in my painting. But if you have got a pure white, save it for the very end. We could use it as a spot highlight.
Cool.
That could be the very, very centre, very pinprick of our heat source. We'll keep that to one side for now. We'll see if we get there. Obviously, here's the model that I'm going to start with. And I've got my wet palette nice and clean, ready to use. I've had this wet palette for about 4 years, and it's still going strong.
Good.
And rather controversially, for this, I'm going to start by using a dry brush. But it's not actually a dry brushing technique. It's just that I like the stiffness of the bristle. I find it's very good for this kind of wet blending that we're going to be doing.
Okay.
So if you've got a broad brush or one that's slightly stiffer, that would work too. It's a dry brush, but we're not actually using it like a dry brush.
Okay, and what colour are we starting with? You mentioned are we starting with the red or?
Yeah, well, so what I'm actually going to propose we do is that we talk about what we're going to do and then just do it all in one go. Because of the heat and because we want to be blending as the paint's drying, we need to be quite speedy during that actual process.
Yeah.
So if we actually just set up all the paints that we need and then just do it in one kind of fluid motion.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll set up mine. Well, I'll shake the paint pot first, obviously. Come on, James. I mean, it gets used fairly a lot, so. So that's the first one. That's the Jewelry Red.
I think Steve's beating you to it. He's keen. Steve's got some red.
Somebody's working for that star of the week.
Oh.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to get dressed.
Oh, hello.
At least it wasn't undressed.
So what? Bloody red.
Ah, he's putting on his Terminator outfit.
There he goes. Robocop. You're going to suit up. Steve, did you say you could hear the music now?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Oh, well done. Thank you. Again, audience, there's some music playing in the background for you. We can't hear it. Hopefully, it's not too loud for you. Let me know if you get bored, and I'll change the record over. I'll just rewind the tape and play.
The other thing we didn't mention is we've primed our minis black, or I did.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. So these D&D models is quite handy, especially if you're not a big fan of, or if you're new to painting and you don't know how to prime. These D&D models come pre-primed. But if you're slightly more au fait with painting and you kind of want to have a bit more control, like I do because I'm a control freak, I re-primed it, but I kept the white that the mini already came with, and I basically shot with a spray can from the bottom black primer. Any glow effects that you do on mini models, I would strongly advise you look up things like zenithal priming. It's a fantastic technique and it saves you a lot of time and it looks very effective very quickly. Sounds complicated when people call it zenithal priming, but it basically just means using black and white primer.
Yep.
You can use an airbrush to do this technique, but like I said, you can use a spray primer. Very, very quick, very, very easy. So you just spray black primer from the bottom, which gives you all the shadow areas, and then you spray white primer from the very top, and that gives you all the light where the highlights are hitting. And obviously where we're talking tonight about glow effects, all you have to do is angle the spray can depending on where you want your light source to be. So in this case, we want it to be the surface of the hammer, where she's going to hit something. So that's where the light source is, so that's where the most white is. And then furthest away from that, which is on the legs, because they're tucked under, that's where the most black is going to be. So yeah, just see, obviously Dave's holding up his model, that's just white primer. So the addition of the black from the bottom really makes a difference in working out where lights and shadows go.
Gotcha.
But you can still make it work even if you don't do this zenithal prime. It's just one thing, it's just one less headache.
Cool.
Okay. Now I've laid out all the paints that I would like to use for my glow effect side by side on the palette. And then basically what I'm going to do is load up my brush with the first colour, and then maybe just kind of smooth it out a little bit on the palette. Then I've got my tissue, just to, almost like with dry brushing, I'm just going to make sure it's not too wet. And then I'm just going to brush it onto this model. And straight away, I'm not going to wash my brush, I'm not going to change anything, just straight away, I'm going to go into the next colour, kind of pre-blend it on the palette, make sure it's not too wet on the tissue, and then put it straight onto the model. Then the third colour, then the fourth colour, then the last colour. So super fast. But each time that you do it, cover less of the area. So when you think about, if you imagine in your head a fire, and how it glows outward, obviously the dimmer light takes up more space, and then when you finally get to the center, it's going to be a very pure color, but it's very small. So this dark red that we've got here is going to cover more of the hammer. Let's say this covers 100% of the hammer, then 80% of the hammer, 60% of the hammer, and it just goes down in increments. So when you get to this kind of off-white color, you shouldn't be covering all of the hammer anymore. You should just be doing the center point where the heat actually is emanating from. When people describe something as white hot, that's why. So we want to simulate that white hot, but just a very small amount.
And would that be the ends that would be that colour, or the middle part of the hammer?
Of course, it's entirely up to you, Joe. So you imagine in your mind, where is the heat coming from? Me, it's going to be on the face of the hammer that's going to hit the object.
Yep.
And so as we move away from that face down the hammer, it's going to get cooler until you get to the very back of the hammer, which I've kept black, because that's going to be not hot. You know, and as that hammer's soaring through the air to hit its target, the heat is moving down the hammer.
Right.
But yeah, the only thing we can do really is give it a go. See, Dave's already started, little cheat.
I'm giving it a go. I don't know if it's coming out right, but I'm giving it a go. So there's some red on there.
That's why we're here. So I'm just splatting it off like that. It's already a very thin red anyway, which is quite handy for this technique. And then just brush it straight on. No messing. Really quick. Like that.
So we're really concentrating the colours on the sides, really, aren't we? And so the back surface, which is away from that heat source, is going to just remain black.
Exactly.
Everyone's concentrating.
That's good. That's a good sign.
Just remember to breathe.
And don't be afraid to go over it as well. You know, like there's a little bit back and forth. So if you look at it at the end and you go, it's brighter than it is dark, and I want a bit more darkness in there, then just add a bit more of the darker color towards the back. You know, it's no different to any other kind of layering technique. If you think it's too thin, obviously you can layer things up a little bit.
So James, what have you been up to recently, or anything you got planned over the next few months? Any new projects?
As me or as Redgrass?
Both. It's fine. You do loads of things. So.
Well, yeah, I was going to say I'm not very exciting. It's just you know, eat, sleep, paint, repeat. But yeah, so obviously for Redgrass we have a few more projects in the works. Obviously, what with COVID and stuff, we've had a lot of slowdown with things like the lamp, but things are back on track now with that, which is great.
Cool. It does look interesting. It's quite it's a nice sexy piece for anyone's desk, really. If you haven't yet checked out Redgrass, light. I think it's on their website at the moment.
Yeah,
It is,
You
yeah.
can,
Yeah.
you can look at.
You can look, but you can't touch
Yes.
at this point. But yeah, it's obviously it's a real labour of love for the guys. I mean, they've been spending years trying to work it out. So, but it's nearing time. We'll probably do a Kickstarter for that, maybe in the start of the new year. And of course, anyone who's backed the V2 wet palette this summer, everything's on track in terms of production for that. So there should be an update on Kickstarter for that this week, just to say, yep, it's all going ahead as planned. So that's really good news as well. And then just me personally, just a lot of painting really. There's nothing, during the day for a job I talk about painting for Red Grass, and then in the evening I paint for myself. So I'm very rock and roll. I'm very interesting. Yeah, that's about the long and short of it. People keep insisting that I'm, they must think I'm cool. And I'm like, guys, really, no.
What's Zombicide? See, there's a picture of yourself there.
It's an interesting board game that I nearly picked up at UK Games Expo because is it the 7th edition has just come out, or the 5th edition or something like that?
It's super fun. I really like how pacey and kind of streamlined it is. It's the complete antithesis of sort of Warhammer games. You pick up a very small rule book and you've got your data cards and that's about it. But there's lots of customization, which I really like, and there's some really nice kind of character-driven lore behind it and stuff, and lots of fun pop culture references. I've got quite a lot of the Zombicide Invader stuff, which kind of makes sense for a 40k fan, I guess. So yeah, I know they've just released a new edition, as Dave said. That looks pretty fun as well. But before you know it, you're remortgaging your home to get like the third expansion, DLC, whatever. Like, they're very good at adding on bits.
For some reason, the black is still showing through underneath on mine. I don't know if it's that I've not left it long enough to dry, but the previous layer.
A little bit of black could be okay. It could be maybe because obviously it's wet on wet, and so it's it's pulling the paint.
Yeah.
Actually, a bit of black would be okay, because if you think about what happens to metal when it gets heated, obviously the surface does go black because it carbonizes. So you may have accidentally stumbled on a piece of wonderful realism there, Joe. I know you did this before with the Dagger Jet when we were rusting. But I've kept the back of mine black anyway, because it's going to be a good contrast with the very front, which is going to be very bright. And that's an important thing to remember with glow effects, is you do need that contrast between light and dark for it to be effective. Which is why I said about maybe not just priming pure white or pure black, because this will help you get that contrast that you need. But I mean, you could pretty much leave it like this, and you'd be done. I painted a Nighthaunt army very, very quickly by using this process, but using greens. Now, it's obviously, technically speaking, it's not as effective as, say, glazing, but glazing is very time-consuming and can be a very advanced technique that scares off new painters. I think doing this kind of almost wet blending, almost stippling with a dry brush, this technique, it's taken us minutes, and we've already kind of worked out how light and dark works, how wet blending works. We've done it very, very quickly, and these are technically advanced techniques without having to glaze or anything like that. So, yeah, obviously we can push it now because we've got so much time. We can go, right, well, I've done the main effect in 5 minutes. Well, I've still got an hour or whatever, so why don't I really go to town and trying to make it look even better? And we can do that with this kind of very speedy technique. So the gory red I was using is one of the Vallejo air paints. So it's very thin because it's obviously formulated for air brushes. But what they don't say is how fantastic that can be as a sort of pre-mixed glaze. Like it's a really nice thin consistency, which means that you can use it straight out of the bottle with your paintbrush as a sort of glaze paint. So if, for instance, like Joe, you're a bit worried that there's a bit too much black showing through, you could get an air paint or thinner normal paint to a glaze consistency, and then just go back over those black areas until you're happy.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I use the airbrush paints as just normal paints quite a lot of the time as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you're getting them for an airbrush, say, you know, it makes sense to use them for both. And another good paint to use for glow effect, anyway, is fluorescent paints. So Vallejo do fluorescent paints as well, but they're nice. You can add them almost like an additive. So if you've got an orange paint you're using, you can add in a little bit of flow orange, and that really helps up the intensity. I should say that if you want more time as a viewer, or if you can't quite see what we're doing here, I do have some saved tutorials to my Instagram page. If you go to the top of my Instagram page, I have got some of these glow tutorials actually that I did with my Nighthorn. So you can see how I did it with green colours.
Cool. We've got, I think we've got some of your links. Yeah, your Instagram has just gone up into live chat as well.
Great. And like I've always said to people, you know, if you see me do something or if you watch something of mine and you don't quite get it, please do just message and let me know, because I'll always try to answer those kinds of questions I get, you know. I mean, that's why we're here, right? We want to help people. So I get a lot of messages, but I always try and make time for the ones asking genuine paint questions.
So for the bright end of the hammer, are you going pure white?
So I always try to. That's a very good question, by the way. I always try to avoid, wherever possible, pure white or pure black. Yeah. Except a kind of like last resort. So I'll concentrate on giving it mostly the off-white.
Yeah.
And then, as I said at the very beginning, I might give it just a tiny, tiny spot highlight of pure white. Because if you go pure black or pure white, you've got nowhere else to go. So if your shadow, for instance, if you've got a black cape and you keep the recesses black, there's nothing you can do with it. It's just a flat color. If you actually do a very, 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 very dark blue or very, very dark purple, you've still got a little bit of room to maneuver. Yeah. And the same goes for white. If you give something pure white, you've got nowhere to go. And obviously it would be tempting with an angel like this, for instance. You go, oh, well, angels wear white robes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they use in the picture as well, so yeah.
Yeah. But you should probably, for the vast majority of the time you're painting those robes, you should probably be using like blue greys or creams. Yeah. And then just highlight the very extreme edges with a pure white. Because otherwise it's just really hard to do. I think that's why when people are like, oh, white's really hard to paint. is because they start with a base color of white, and then they've got nowhere to go. Through no fault of their own, because they've not been taught anything else. So, yeah, I would avoid it where possible.
And for the handle of the hammer,
Yeah.
do you keep it one color?
So this entirely depends on how you think this light source behaves. Now, obviously, they're angels, it's celestial. It could be a magical light source, in which case it only radiates on the actual blade of the hammer. But perhaps in your internal logic, you're thinking, no, it glows maybe like a fire stick.
Yeah.
In which case, we also need to think about how we can make these colors radiate. So what you'll want to do is paint the handle first, and then basically repeat this glow process
Yeah.
in the handle. And obviously it helps if you do a contrasting color for the handle, because if you paint a pure white handle, it'll be really hard to do the glow effect on it effectively.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Baron. Has been out surveying bats. Yeah.
Important to protect our nocturnal pollinators.
So what have you been painting recently, James?
Oh, all sorts. I've got the Morven Val,
Okay.
Canoness, the Adeptus Sororita. Trying to go for a kind of non-metallic metal.
Yeah.
One, don't know if you can see that. But actually, this is a good example as well of the glow effect. So you think about, I wanted really shiny armor, so I also need to show how her environment actually hits that armor as well. So I haven't just done my silver colors, I've put a bit of blue in there to show how maybe the sky is shining off the armor. And I've got a bit of red in there to show how, you know, some of the warm tones from the earth are bouncing off the armor. So, and well, I've got this Mass Effect Femshep.
I saw that one. Yeah. You've been posting pictures of that one. That was good.
Yeah. Thank you. They've just got a 3D printer, and they wanted to practice. And they said, "Oh, James, I know you really like Mass Effect, so I'll send you this Mass Effect print I found." I was like, "Okay." 3 model print.
Yeah. No, don't do that.
Oh God! Oh no! What a shame. So yeah, that's what I've been up to at the moment. I've got hordes of things I should be painting, and I'm not painting any of them. So
Is that a resin printer that your friend's got?
yes, yeah. I mean, I know people with the FDM ones as well, kind of wiry spool ones. They seem to be really good for terrain, actually.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot harder to get good character models off an FDM printer though, because of the label. But they're getting better all the time. I see some of these prints now. I'm just amazed at the quality. You painting your Necron still, Joe?
Oh, I am all finished.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, 2,000 points all done. Yeah.
What's the next exercise in masochism?
I have moved on to Imperial Knights.
Oh wow.
So we just finished Avernus on the show on Badgers, and the party that I DM'd before were nice enough to buy me a couple of armigers.
Yeah, armigers. Yeah.
Armigers.
The kind of
so,
little ones.
yeah, so I've been building and painting some of those.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. With my group of friends, if you've got a large base, the general thing is that you go over and raid your friend's bits box and find bits of their army and stick it on your base as if your model has killed it.
Nice.
So when my mate Andy plays Imperial Guard, so I went over his and raided his bits box, and I've got like some flags and like various other bits and pieces that I'm gonna get standing on.
So is it Heretic Knights? Is it?
No, it's just normal knights, so not like chaos or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's just a done thing in our group of friends. So we're just like, oh look, that's my model, killing all models.
Why not, eh? Why not?
Yeah. So I'm attempting the same sort of technique on the wings as well, I thought.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, totally. I'm going to push the dark red at the end of my hammer a bit more. So I've just put in some hull red, again by Vallejo. It's a very kind of chocolatey brown, and I'm just going to mix kind of like half and half with the gory red that I've already got on my thing. And I'm going to try and use that as a shadow. Because red is a very hard colour to play with when it comes to darkening and lighting it. Because if you add white to red, you don't get a lighter red, you get pink. And if you add black to red, you don't get a darker red, you get black. So you do have to think quite thoughtfully about how to darken and lighten red. Tell you what though, a good colour, if you want to add a shadow to something that's predominantly red, use green.
Oh really?
So take your darkest red that you've got and add in a touch of green, and then that can be your shadow. Because green is opposite red on the colour wheel, so so science.
My art teacher would be so happy that I'm still using the colour wheel.
I'm so happy you're using the colour wheel.
Would you still give this a wash afterwards?
Oh, you mean like normal and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or
are you? Is this kind of taking the place of that due to the fact that you're doing your darks and lights?
yeah, pretty much. Of course, there's nothing to stop you from doing it. It's just that you run the risk of kind of spoiling the kind of transition, and then you'd have to end up doing it all over again. So it'd almost be worth doing the base red, and then doing your wash, and then just doing the rest of this.
Yeah.
Rather than doing this whole process and then thinking about doing it. Because yeah, I don't think it would work as well.
At what point do you stop?
That's a good question. Pretty much, it is worth going away from it for a little bit and kind of tackling it again with fresh eyes if you need to. So if you feel like, okay, I've done as much as I think I can for now, do something else. I mean, on a model like this, there's plenty of other things you can be doing, like the robes or the hair or the skin. And then, come back to the glowing weapon and think, no, actually, it's pretty good as it is. Or maybe going to add in a bit more highlight or whatever. So, I don't know, I can't see yours, Steve. Yeah. But you've got a really nice transition. I really like that. The yellow and the orange right on the front, and then that rich, dark red at the back. That's really nice. That looks flaming hot. So it might even be worth for you just going on to something else for now, letting that dry for a bit. And we can always glaze in other things later if you feel like it's necessary. But like I said, I think that looks pretty hot already. Pun intended.
The bit I don't like is actually the front.
Yeah. So that's chipped to yellow, is it?
Yeah, because I've sort of been over it a few times. So I've gone back to yellow as the starting point. I like coming with some orange around the edges to make the contrast.
That's good. And then have maybe like a really pale off-white dead in the center. Or you could even do little black dots in it, so they look like kind of burnt embers. Yeah. So if you've ever seen people painting power swords that are like they're flaming, sometimes they do it like with the black dead in the middle. And it looks almost like it's still on the anvil being hammered. So that might be really nice to do on there, actually, I think.
I will give that a shot.
What's everybody's thoughts on her outfit in the mock-up? On the back of the box, she is wearing a white outfit. You've been indoors too long.
Oh yes.
Make yourself, that's the important thing.
I was going to go for some blue, I think.
Blue's a really nice choice. Because I would say something like green, because obviously that's opposite red, but red and green together does have very Christmassy connotations. So blue might be
still on top of the tree.
Indeed. Blue might be nice because it's a nice contrast of hot and cold. Because blue's a very cool colour, and obviously the flame effect is very hot. So
yeah, you sold me. I'm done. Right. Go for it. Electric blue.
Oh, very nice.
Actually, I wonder if I've got any. Joe, you're an expert on the shifter colours. Is there like a blue shifter?
Yep.
Yeah.
My favourite one is the electric blue intense violet.
Oh,
My favourite shifter colour out of all of them. The others are amazing as well, don't get me wrong. But that's like... That's
thank
my
you.
favourite.
Sufficiently subpar for following. Right, what did you say? Electric blue intense violet. Oh yeah.
You can put it on your wet palette. It goes a bit funny after a short while. It doesn't stay like other paints will on there. And it's best to paint it all in one direction. If that makes sense. You know, like when you're painting a wall and stuff, so you go up and down rather than. And it's weird in that it's not the colour that it turns out as. It's like a white, creamy sort of colour.
Yeah, it's not blowing the pot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just found it. I see what you mean. Electric. Oh, it's got a ball in there as well.
Yeah.
Right, and these are working the wet palette, yeah. It'll go fine.
Yeah, it's fine whilst you're painting with it now, but when you leave it for a bit, it will just sort of separate. I think most metallics in sort of wet palettes go like that, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much just because of the metallic flakes in the paint.
Yeah.
They want to separate because they're different densities. So that's why often you really have to shake metallic paints if they've been sort of idle for a while.
Right, let's give this a go. My first time using shifter paints. Let's see what happens.
Bending every time I tried to paint the wings.
Which one?
I said every time I tried to paint the wings, she keeps like. Right, stay still.
She's not ready. She's not ready for you, Jay.
Yeah.
I think I shall make her a brunette. Obviously, feel free whilst I'm here. You don't have to ask me about the glow stuff. If you're painting something else and I can help, please just let me know.
I am.
If you
But, I'd need to get a link and show you the image that I want to paint and all sorts. So.
Just DM me later, hun. DM me later.
Yeah, I was sliding to DMs for him.
So what's your normal tip for going for really contrast paint effects? Is it always go for a black undercoat?
Is the stream frozen for anyone else, or is it just me?
No, we are still
Apologies.
broadcasting.
Apologies.
I would, for top contrast, it's not just black; it's black and white.
Right.
Primer, because obviously that zenithal technique we talked about at the start is just a really good way of kind of showing you where everything needs to be. And if your paint's thin enough, when you add these colours on, you actually do notice a difference anyway. So where I've put this blue on her dress, where it was white, the blue's a lot more vibrant, and there's a kind of natural shadow to the blue where it was black. So that means a lot less heavy lifting for me later when I'm trying to highlight these robes, because it's kind of halfway done already. So yeah, you can't have light without shadow. Equally, you can't have good light and dark play without black and white.
Done like Yoda.
I'm very wise. You know. From all the paint I've been taken off my brush when I lick it.
Yeah, look at these wings.
I've gone for purple.
Yeah, what, for the dress?
No, for the wings.
Oh, fair enough.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think that, like, on my model, I think the wings are better than the hammer. But maybe it's where I've obviously had a practice run at it.
Well, yeah, and you know, he gets good at something on the first go. You know, that's the kind of beautiful / frustrating thing about painting, is that, you know, it's not a curved gradient. It's weird. It looks like spaghetti junction. You know, sometimes you're better, sometimes you're worse. But yeah, definitely, you're not a maestro at anything the first time you try it. And if you don't keep doing it, you do kind of lose that proficiency. So yeah, it's a painting journey.
So when you talked earlier about non-metallic metallics, been watching quite a few videos. I think Angel's done a few videos recently on non-metallic metallics.
He can, yeah.
How do you make the decision on the base colour, or is there like a colour chart? As in, if you're going to do non-metallic gold, it's always going to start with a tan brown.
Well, everybody has a slightly different recipe that they swear is tried and tested. But you know, for me, when I'm doing gold non-metallic metal, I really like a chocolatey brown, because I like warm gold, so I want a kind of reddy brown to start.
Right.
So something like Pul Red would be a good choice for that. But obviously, because that's so dark, it does involve a lot of glazing. Whereas if you start with a lighter brown, like a tan brown, obviously then you don't need to do it so much. But you know, it depends on the metal that you're trying to simulate. So with that Morven Val, we're trying to go for that chromatic steel effect, then I want something that's a bit kind of bluer. So I was using a blue-grey as the starting point.
Yeah.
I think what the name of it was. I think it might have been Abyssal Blue by Scale 75. It's a really nice blue-black, basically. But it's a really good base colour for grey, black, or blue. And then you can just work up from there.
Yeah. One of my favourite colours in the Flayos actually is sea blue. Sea grey, dark sea grey. That's a really nice colour.
The blue that I'm used here on the robe is dark Prussian blue,
Right.
which is a beautiful blue that Vallejo do. I really like it. What is your least favourite paint to use? And that goes to everybody.
Colour or paint?
I will accept answers for either.
Yellow.
Fair.
Yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably a yellow or white as a colour.
I like using white strangely as a colour. I don't know what it is about the consistency of yellow paint. It's just horrible.
You know, the best advice I have for that is to start with pink.
Okay.
A lot of the pros, when they're painting yellow, first of all, they just reconcile the fact that they're going to have to paint many, many thin layers of yellow to get the yellow that they want. But a lot of them start with a base coat of pink. And I think it's partly because with pink underneath, you can see where you haven't layered consistently to get the right yellow. So once you start getting more pink, you know you've done it right.
Whereas when you paint in the yellow on, as you were saying, the white primed mini,
Yeah,
or even
I've
black
got
primed mini, it's you're just dragging the paint all over the place.
Yeah. Dave, do you have you earned a colour of hatred yet?
No, I haven't really used any other paint apart from Vallejo, so it's not a brand issue. Colour-wise, no, I fall into probably favoritisms. Like we mentioned, favourite shades of blue and stuff like that. I've definitely got, like there is the magic blue in the Vallejo set, which is gorgeous once it's dry. So no, I don't really have like a nemesis colour. But
I like it.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've been painting long enough. And you know, the fact that we have done lots of variety of things, I haven't done anything big. That is coming soon, but we haven't yet done anything bigger than large, like, as in a large miniature, which is twice the size as a normal miniature. And these ones are actually fairly big in what we do. And we've done some ridiculously small miniatures as well. We've done halflings and goblins and things. But these are actually quite a nice size. But I would definitely like to try bigger. And maybe bigger brushes. I don't have an insane, but we've painted. If you go smaller than a halfling or goblin, we've painted eyes several times now. And that's tricky, but the end effects are amazing.
Once you've done the eyes on a mini, if you don't do them on the rest, it looks odd. I find that now that we've did that later, when I look at minis where I haven't painted the eyes on, they come finished.
Same goes for eyebrows. Once you start painting eyebrows, you can never go back. Well, not that you asked, but mine's Xandri Dust by Citadel.
Really?
I like a lot of Citadel paints, but Xandri Dust and I never got on. It was just always so claggy. And obviously
Sorry.
because of the colour, and it was a base colour as well. It was used in so many things, like as a base colour for skulls or sandy bases or scroll work, and so it felt like I was using it all the time, even though I didn't like it.
My whole Necron army is Xandri Dust.
Have my sympathy.
The warriors all are, and then the sort of HQ units, the larger units, are half Xandri Dust and half Shifter paints. I
mean, Joe, there's a reason why I painted all of my Necrons black. You know, It was to avoid Xandri dust.
Yeah, all of my friends were like, "What are you doing, you madman?" So picking 2 paint schemes for 1 unit. And I would have painted my models a lot quicker if I hadn't.
You do you.
Oh yeah. But they always rib me for painting the like snotling that's in the back of the scrapjet, which all you can see of it is pretty much its eyes. And I think the whole model-
Well, it's the classic. Do you paint the inside of the Rhino?
Yes.
So people paint the cockpits of the tanks and then seal them up with glue to never see the light again.
I was like, if I drop it, people will be able to see it.
Yeah, true. They will also see your tears.
Yeah, oh no, it's smashed. But look at that goblin. Isn't his, on his feet edge highlighted really well?
I think it's appropriate for an old scrapjet to get smashed, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
So I have an amateur question, a noob question about these shifter paints. Are you supposed to paint the colour on first and then the shifter paint over the top?
Yes. Yes, it's meant to go like metallics is meant to go on like black or like a dark colour normally.
That's probably why mine isn't working then.
Yeah, apologies, I should have probably said.
So is it like a tint, is it?
It is a paint, you just need to put a couple of layers on.
Yeah, it's almost like you think of like lead belcher doesn't look good when you just paint it straight on, and it needs like black behind it, almost. But you can wait for that to dry and then paint over it black. You'll still be able to put the.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Yeah.
I thought, wait for the colour to change, but it's not doing anything.
No, you'd notice it straight away. Yeah, I don't know how it works. It's voodoo to me. I just know it looks good. I did that exact thing with a whole squad of 20 warriors. I was trying to figure out how to do the swords, and I painted all the swords white because I was going to do it one way, and then I took a load of spare ones that I had and tested out some various different patterns, and painted on some shifter paint on white, and it went a weird hot pink sort of colour. Kind of looked good, but not what I was looking for. And then I painted it on black and was like, that looks really good, but now I've got to go back and paint all of the stuff that I've just painted white.
Do it again.
Now I've got to paint black. I was like on the video call to my mate, and he was like, "Yeah, I could see the moment where you had the sudden realization of what you were going to have to do, and you're just like."
You hate to see it happen, folks.
Yeah. But it's fun when it's happened to someone else, though, right?
Well, obviously, yeah.
Especially when it's one of your mates. Do you do much freehand stuff, James?
Not as much as Don. But I occasionally dabble. The one I'm probably proudest of is the that I did last year. It was actually just a normal Rhino kit, because it was before the sisters got their own sort of very blinged up, ornate version.
Yeah.
I just got a normal Rhino kit and I painted it black, and then I just freehanded like medieval scripts and stuff all over it. Used source books, looked up medieval icon artwork and stuff, and I just every free panel there was, I did something. It took a really long time, but I was very, very satisfied with it at the end. And yeah, I occasionally dabble in freehand.
Because that was my plan for my big nights, is to have like free-handed like flame effects.
Ah, cool.
On them.
Well, I mean that's a perfect canvas to start kind of working out. Yeah, definitely.
It's obviously quite flat, isn't it? So.
Well, I'm pretty sure Don posted a video on YouTube today about freehanding, so.
Oh, really?
That'll be your man to check out.
Nice.
Okay, we are about half an hour to the end.
Bloody hell.
What? Time flies when you're having fun.
Nice.
Dead speaking to himself. No, guys. No, I exist. Nobody else jump in.
There's a vague sense of panic setting in, I think. When I realised I pretended to hammerhead and a bit of cloth.
Wait, did we have to finish these?
Not anymore. Have you got any? So, I think it was Leia when she was talking about different painting effects, I guess I'll call it, that you can use to make certain materials more obvious. So you can paint cloth in a certain way to make it more obvious that it is cloth as opposed to
Denim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Cloth is stippling,
Right.
where you do lots of tiny little dots. Use really thin paints and just kind of like dot it on.
Yeah.
And then obviously start introducing your highlight color. And just keep with the dots. It will destroy your brush over time, but it's very good for that texture look that you want for cloth, and it will make it look different to any, say, like metal that you've got or whatever.
So do you start with a base colour first, or do you just base colour stipple as well?
Oh yeah, so I mean, just have Rhinox hides a pretty nice starting off point for that colour, or Hull Red, Cavalry Brown from Vallejo, good. Just apply those like you would with any base colour, flat, and then you can start thinking about stippling. So you wouldn't stipple into the very deepest recesses of the cloth.
Right, gotcha.
Like we talked about with this glow effect, just make each successive highlight smaller.
Yeah.
So if the first highlight is, I don't know, 3 millimeters wide, by the time you get to the final highlight, it should only be 0.5 millimeters wide.
Yeah. What colours has everybody gone for?
I've got a white shine. I've got an ethereal white dress.
You like things hard, don't you, Dave? Like to be hard on yourself.
See, I looked at it and instantly thought Fallen Angel. That was that's what I was like. So I went for like more darker, moodier colours. I've like the same as the skin. I've kind of done it a grey sort of colour. Well, it's Repar Flesh, which is kind of like
I see. I always like Rekar Flesh.
yeah.
Way more than Hungry Dust.
Let's have a look, Joe.
It's almost drow. It's like a sort of drow sort of colour. Really.
Okay, yeah.
Now there's a paint. A paint I've never had, but I would love to try. I think it's P3, and it's called Drow Nipple, and it's just kind of grey lilac colour, I think. I just thought, wow, whoever sat down that day and decided to name that colour Drow Nipple had a big day. How did they pitch that to their boss without laughing?
The other thing that I'd like to try and do sometime is, have you seen it's called Synthwave? I think it's.
Oh yeah, I know Synthwave.
Yeah, it's very sort of like almost 80s looking.
The 80s neon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen my Eldar?
Your Eldar?
Yeah, hang on. Here's one I made earlier, Joe. There you go, like that.
Oh wow.
Yes. Yeah.
And then if you look up my Drazdar, that's a kind of dark synth colour as well. Lots of dark greens and purples and stuff. And I've been painting Lilith. Is it? Yeah, Lilith Hesperex.
Hesperex, yeah.
Not quite finished yet, but obviously like purple armor with green blades.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that Warhammer as well, or is that something else?
Yeah, this is Warhammer. Yeah. 40k.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my local stores just started opened up again for games and things, and I was in there the other week and was looking at their Age of Sigmar boxes. I was I was like, that's a D&D one-shot campaign just in a box. I was just like,
I think Age of Sigmar models are fantastic for D&D. If you get like the Underworld's war bands,
yeah,
you get some really good critters for dungeon crawls. Like Molog's Mob, you get a troll, you get like bats and goblins and things like. Or if you get the Sepulchral Guard kit for Underworld for £15, you get loads of skellies, which are always cool from D&D. So, and you get the improved kind of model quality that you'd come to expect from Games Workshop.
you're only looking for one particular colour, and you've got all of your colours in front of you. It's like hunt for the tiny paint pot. You all don't understand this because you've probably all got your paints all like nicely arranged in order and stuff.
Mine are
They were
numbered.
shaded out from left to right.
I was gonna say, is this some sort of peasant problem I'm supposed to understand?
Joe, mine are numbered, and all of them I have these on as well. So
Of course they are.
I have colour tips.
Mine are just
Hiring
all
points I
over
haven't
my
done.
desk. Just-
Why? They come in a nice big case, Joe. They come in a nice big case.
yeah, but like, I don't know if you can see this, but like, look how many aren't in the nice big case.
That's because you got to put them back when you finish with them, Joe.
But I can't use them when I need them. You've got to get the case out. They're there in front of me.
Dread.
Coming into your house and tidy up.
I don't know.
I've just seen, weirdly, we were talking about the shifter paint earlier, and I said I've just basically painted shifter paint on top of the white dress. And I don't know if that's coming out on camera, but there is a sheen to it.
Yeah, it might go like a little bit pink.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a sheen, but because I painted the nipple tops in the paint colour, so I'll show you those. That's what I do with my paint lid, so I can see what the colour actually looks like, which was a very handy tip. I also painted the top of the shifter paint, and because it's black,
yeah, there
it
you
comes
go.
out.
Yeah.
So that actually looks really nice. Look at that, it changes colour. I'm
That's
amazed.
exactly what it is.
It does. I'm going to paint the whole lid now, just so I can see it. So in the last 20 odd minutes, I will see if I can repaint the dress in electric blue. See, look, see, Joe, this is what you do. You see, you get this thing that comes in your briefcase, and then it says, right, electric blue, number 23. Okay, so then I go to my briefcase and find, I don't know where I put it, and then, oh, there it is, and then find number 23, and I can see what colour it is.
Sounds far too organised for my liking. Embrace the chaos.
Hello, Laura Bones. Thank you for raiding.
Oh, nice. Hello.
Right, how do I put that one? That comes in there like that. Boom. So, the shifter paints. Is that my? I don't even know what brush I've been using now. Not that one. I'll try this
You
one.
had a good dream, Laura. Very good, thank you.
Right. How is this going to come out?
Dave has shifter paints and is learning the dark arts.
Yep. First time ever using them.
The Sith have many skills that
Yeah.
others would consider dark and unnatural.
Apart from telling me to paint the colour first and then you put the shifter paint on top.
Have you heard the story about Darth Shifter the Wise?
Hooray! Thank you very much. I'm here all week.
Talking of which, like sci-fi and stuff, I'm so excited about June coming out soon.
Oh, tell me about it. It's really close to my birthday. And so my
Nice.
partner Alice was like, "Oh, well, that could be your birthday present." I was, "No. Going to see June is a religious experience." Okay?
Yeah.
But it does look phenomenal.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
I'm worried it won't be as good as the David Lynch version.
I don't know.
But that is the best, you know.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I really love that film. But it's just from the stills in the video and the advert and stuff. It doesn't look like it's gonna be too bad, but you know, we've all seen adverts that we think, oh, that film's gonna be really good.
Yeah, true. Although I saw the Suicide Squad, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, I've really enjoyed that.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen the first one that's meant to be awful.
So the first one had an amazing trailer, and it turned out that's because that was the best part of the whole film.
It's the best bits, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's spend all our budget on 15 seconds, whack it all in an advert.
Well, I think they actually hired an ad agency to cut those parts of the film
Okay.
for the trailer to build up hype. And obviously, they did a really good job. The downside was that you've got to build the rest of the film,
Yep.
and they didn't.
And also word of mouth spreads pretty quick, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I did really enjoy the Suicide Squad, so I would recommend it.
Yes. Yeah, as I think I told Leah last week, last brush off, I go see sci-fi films normally first of all with my mum, because she's a massive sci-fi nerd, but doesn't have anyone else that wants to go watch them with her. So it's all the Star Wars films that came out, I went to see them with mum first of all.
Wow.
But this time, most of my mates are like, yeah, we're going to see it at the same time, like, we'll tag along. So it's basically my mum and all my mates. We're going to go cinema together.
Oh, that's really cool. It's nice that you could all go together and be disappointed by the Star Wars films.
Yeah. I mean, we went to see like Lord of the Rings and all those sorts of things as well together, so...
I actually saw an anniversary screening for Fellowship of the Ring this year, and it was like, okay, even though it's not the extended cut, and I'm 20 years older now, it's still so good.
Yeah. Like, I watched all three of them a couple months ago, and timeless.
It's one of those ones where you see a meme or something, because Lord of the Rings is still like high in pop culture.
Yeah.
Even though it's 20 years old, unlike Game of Thrones or the new Star Wars, which have just dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
You'll see a meme for Lord of the Rings. You're like, that's really funny. Yeah. Oh god, I need to sit down right now and watch 12 hours of Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
I need to stop whatever I was planning to do.
Yeah.
And there is no problem with watching it several times a year.
Yeah, we've done that, but we've also got the extended cuts, and it's amazing the amount of stuff that's not in
Mhm.
that he's not in the.
Yeah.
You know, you got to watch the whole. Was it 4 or 5 hours
Yeah.
of each film?
It's a slog, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the living definition of epic.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a sore bomb by the end, have you even done it right?
Yeah. You know what I'm going to end up doing tonight, don't you?
Watching Lord of the Rings. Watching David Lynch's Dune.
Yeah, one or the other, probably. Actually, no. What I'm going to do tonight is go away and build that character for you, Dave.
Cool. Oh, I also need a mini.
Oh yeah. Can
Yeah.
I be is it an SMR? By any chance?
What, with a flaming hammer, you mean?
Yeah, maybe.
It,
Oh, it's already ready to go. Hey, don't work harder, work smarter.
that's the plan. If you can finish the mini, then yes.
Does it have to be finished within the constraint of this show?
No, you get some extra time. It has to be. It has to be finished to go into the next show,
Ooh.
which is
Might have to
Thursday,
come round.
folks. It's Thursday.
Oh, that's loads of time to get it done. God.
You've seen us flower paint.
I mean, I'm not a particularly fast painter, it must be said.
No.
But I'm painting to enjoy it, not to get things done quickly. So
Yeah.
and just wait until you start playing with oils. Woo! You cannot paint those quick.
See, that's now that I've painted my 2,000 point army, I am now looking at painting for fun rather than to just get it done. If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And why not?
Yeah. So I'm gonna start looking at some more of these like bigger pieces, like ogres and you know.
Yeah, the Troggoths, the Gloom Spites, they're really fun. They're really big, but they've got lots of like characterful details that you can really have fun with. Can recommend.
Yeah. I can't remember what that name of that model that I got was. The ogre that's got like 4 heads, Dave, from WizKids.
The troll.
The dire troll. That's
Yeah.
it. Need to take that at some point as well.
Yep.
How the hell did I do that?
What I really like about what I've really found interesting about the minis is when you paint them, the detail just really pops. I mean, you see these miniatures, and if you don't paint them, you just think, okay, it's still a good mini, it looks good, blah blah blah. But I mean, these came out of the same packet. Okay, so you get the Belays and the Belays and the Astral Diva in the same box. And I thought the ones with the like the transparent wings and the fiery wings was going to be the winner, but actually just a bit of flesh tone, a blue dress, and a flaming hot warhammer. It's really just brought that to life.
Yeah, I've got to say, this is my personal favourite model as well. I just love the pose. And I love her contemptuous look. She looks angry, and she looks like you deserve this hammer to the face.
Yeah.
You got to paint those eyebrows.
Right. Yeah, okay. If you want to play that game, I'll hit you with my hammer.
I don't know what to do with the wings though. I mean, I like what Joe's done, but I quite like just I don't know, maybe like an eagle feather or an owl feather.
Maybe golden wing.
Yeah, I haven't done that actually. Oh, I haven't tried that. I don't know. It might be too Wonder Woman-y.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Or silvery wings.
Yeah, could do those.
Less Wonder Woman-y.
Okay, we are less than 10 minutes to the end, guys. Less than 10 minutes. I've definitely not finished this one. Steve,
No.
Steve, how's your one looking along?
Sorry.
How are you doing?
I've done the wings.
Oh, the purple looks good. Yeah.
And now I'm doing the dress. I'm not going to get to paint skin tone or the hair.
You've
so
gone
I'm
off.
just gonna
You've
try
gone off camera.
Have I? Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to do the front bit of the dress at the moment, the bottom bit. So yeah, I'm not going to finish. We're nowhere near finished. Not going to do the skin tones. Not going to do the hair or face or anything. Probably not going to go back to the hammer either, actually.
I think you had a pretty effective hammer already. So I don't think you'll lose anything by leaving it as is. It was very kind of bold and bright, and that's what it is, right? It's an eye-catching weapon when you do it like this. And I think you've probably succeeded there.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I suppose it's meant to draw the eye in, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, traditionally on a model, it's the face, isn't it? So it's good when you shake it up a little bit and you go, you know what? Big burning hammer.
Yeah.
People like it. They respond well to it.
So James, is there any shows, conventions, or competitions coming up for you at all?
I've actually never entered a painting competition.
Really?
Yeah, I did a couple at my local Games Workshop when I first started.
Yeah.
But I just found them too stressful and too restrictive. And you know, I didn't really enjoy them. Obviously that was 3 years ago now, and a lot has changed since then. Not least my confidence in my painting. So I don't know. I often toy with the idea of maybe it is time I start pushing myself and entering competitions. Because if nothing else, they're a fantastic way to learn.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get beaten by some of the best, and you can just say at the end, "Can you just talk me through?" And you know, you can get a really, really insightful lesson. So, yeah, I do think about it, but just aren't that many competitions at the moment. Not with COVID hanging around.
Yeah.
And obviously, when I spend my whole day professionally talking to the world's best painters, it does diminish my esteem in my own painting somewhat. Think, oh God, I'd never want to go up against you.
Is there anyone that? So who in terms of the painting world, who are your heroes?
Oh my God. Where do you even start? I mean, obviously, Angel, and I'm not even contractually obliged to say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's just his breadth, like how much he can do.
Yeah.
All the varieties is just wonderful. David Basilisk's very good. I really like Christoph Korn, I think he's called.
Korn.
Does his wonderful like Blanchitsu style, and he uses oils, and it's really gritty and grimdark that I like. There's so many. Basically, if you follow the Redgrass Instagram account, or Facebook,
I think I do.
Instagram,
Yeah.
every other day I do an artist spotlight, where I just highlight one of our painters and one of their pieces, and I just wax lyrical about why I like it. So yeah, every other day on social media, that's one of my painting heroes. So, I wish I could paint like you.
Well, where is it? December. You've got the Dragon Meet convention in London.
Ah, yes, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, we got. I mean, it's. I don't think there's any painting going on, but it's mostly games, board games, role play. Yeah. Plus, you get loads of various dealers down there, publishers, that kind of thing. I'll be going. I think Steve might be planning on going. Mike, who's one of the other badgers, he enjoyed it last time, so I think he'll be going.
Get the whole gang down together.
We get some down there, and it's in a hotel, so there's a bar, so you can have a drink. You get a drinky poo as well.
You know, as if I would.
But yeah, if you happen to be down that way, we will see you down there and happily buy you a drink.
Oh, just the one?
Well, it depends how late we stay.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'll have the drinks for all of your guests who, due to different time zones, can't make it.
Yeah.
I'll have Don's pint.
Well, something we're doing as of January the 1st, 2022, we will be our new goal, our next goal for Badgers is to see if we can get us to Gen Con in person
Wow.
for the whole week. Mainly to do some shopping and to meet everyone. But top goal is, you know, let's go live on stage and play some games and then do some painting.
They teach the world some glow effects.
Yeah.
If my painting has improved to that standard, yes. We shall have to wait and see. Have to wait and see how this comes out.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's our goal for 2022. Is Gen Con.
Well, the Las Vegas Open is also January 2022, I think.
It is.
End of June. That would be a fantastic one to go to.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Still
So,
don't
you
know
know.
what colour to do this hair.
I went brown. Oh, and actually we've just run out of time. There we go. We are a minute over. Right. Now I've actually again the detail on the model. You do see so much more when you give it some colour.
Yeah.
Because I definitely thought the other mini was just more attractive as a whole piece, but now this is just. I think James is right. As you see the pose, and you see it all coming together, that does look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a soundbite of the evening as well. James was right.
Cut that, Baron.
Yeah.
They'll clip it for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Right.
I can have.
So, paintbrush. I was going to say pencils. Paintbrushes down. We'll We'll go quickly around the table. We'll start with you, James. If you're able to give us a close up of your of your as near to finished product as possible.
How can I do that? Is that better?
Yeah, that looks good.
There we go.
That is very nice.
Yeah, that is really nice.
I'll take a nice picture and I'll send it to you guys. Yeah, that's my goal for 2022 is get a proper lighting and camera setup.
Yeah,
But,
that pose as well, and maybe even your colour scheme. Steve, I can't remember his name. Oh, he's got your headphones on. Typical. Right, Robocop, tune in. Steve, I was just talking to you about the guy we met at UK Games Expo.
Yeah.
James Studios.
No. The Tower, Steve. The Tower. The model maker, the artist. But he doesn't paint. The Angel painted his stuff.
Yeah.
Cerberus Studios.
Cerberus Studios, yes.
Yeah. So
Studios, yes.
James's colour scheme just reminded me of that.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah.
I can't remember his name though.
No, I can't remember his name either, but it's Cerberus Studios, and the game is Mortal's Reckoning. So that's all these minis that Angel painted were for his Mortal's Reckoning game, and the prints on the minis are awesome. Really good.
I've not painted any of those ones, but I do kind of lust after them, and I know that I will at some point get around to buying some and painting.
He'll probably be down at Dragon Meet.
Ah, awesome. I think he's just got married, actually.
He has, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So, yeah, if he's a Dragon Meet, I'll have to bring my wallet.
Yeah, they're nice stuff. And his displays are nice as well. He uses those domes, the glass domes as well.
Oh, I do love a good display cloche, as you know.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is stunning. Okay, so I've gone with a kind of much happier tone than James is.
I'm gonna pin you. There we go.
Okay.
Lovely.
There you go. So this is a brighter dress. She's very happy. She's more like My Little Pony, rather than a fallen angel. I've not done anything to the wings. That's still original. I've not done the base. I've added a very pale flesh tone. I haven't done the belt. There's the hammer.
Your hammer looks good.
So that's the hammer tone. So I'm getting closer on
I
that.
think it looks great. And you say happy, I mean, like, it's bold, right? It's really eye-catching.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. That blue is wonderful.
Yeah, and then I've added the shifter paint that hasn't dried, but I'm hoping that might come out. I don't know, but it might be too bright. Maybe I should have gone for a darker colour. But so
Is that the shifter paint on the dress?
yeah,
Right. Yeah, it's difficult paint to use.
but yeah, I haven't done the belt. I haven't done the wings. Actually, the face, as James had mentioned earlier, she's got like a proper mean face. It's like you've just pissed off an angel, bitch. So you really, I'm gonna try and do the eyes and the eyebrows on that one because I think that is gonna really,
It'll be worth it for sure.
yeah, that will really add some character to it.
Well, and sometimes you get sculpts that they have faces technically, but the sculpts aren't that detailed, and just painting the faces is a nightmare and horrible.
Yep.
I think with this one, actually, it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you, so it makes painting faces a lot more enjoyable,
Cool.
and you get that nice pop.
Definitely.
So I think it'd be worth it on this one for sure.
Cool. And Joe.
Yes. So let's see.
Oh, very nice. I love those wings.
Yep.
They look like phoenix wings.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it
So,
flat.
what colour did you do the dress?
That was
Somber grey.
somber grey, yes.
Colour I did mine.
Did you do yours the same? I was going to highlight it with like a dark purple as well, but I didn't get around to that. Was literally what I was doing as we finished. Yeah, I'm liking the wings. I think they look pretty cool.
Yeah, they look almost autumnal, or like they're almost like they're
Yeah.
burning off.
Yeah. As I say, I'm still not sure what colour I want to paint the hair.
You know, the white is really nice.
Yeah, I could just sort that bit at the back out and do like a white or like a dark grey. But I was thinking of grey, but then the skin is obviously quite similar.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it might. Yeah, well, you could darken the skin a little bit, maybe with the reddy brown or something.
What about a lilac?
Yeah.
Yeah, lilac.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good technique though. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Your hammer looks good. I like that.
Cool. And yeah, actually, Joe, because you've painted those wings, it looks like they've got more movement in than my ones. My ones do just look flat. Your ones look like they've got more folds in them as well.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean that was what drew me to painting this one is the textures you've got on the wings.
Yeah.
You've also got the same textures on the see-through one as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's anything that's got like lots of creases or anything like that, I always find it's great to paint because you can get a lot
The
of.
thing about this technique as well is it's quick,
Mhm.
because otherwise you could be spending a lot of time individually dry brushing
Oh, yeah.
feathers if you was
Yeah.
to do it sort of more traditionally, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and doing that zenithal as well over heavily textured sculpts because they've got lots of robes or feathers. the black and the white does it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah.
And then when you paint over the top of it, you've already got your shadows and highlights.
Mhm.
So Zenithal is your friend.
And finally, Steve.
Myself as well. Let's see. Okay. Is that focusing?
Wow, those purple wingtips.
Oh, they look cool.
Wow.
So with purple up through red,
Yeah.
orange, yellow, and then into the bone white at the very top.
I
My
like that.
my light on my phone tends to blow the colours out quite a bit, but then if I
Yeah.
do that, it goes red. So I have to have it switched on. I'll have to get a
Yeah,
different.
I can understand.
So yeah, I went for slightly darker on the back of the wings, on the basis that there was more light coming from the front from the hammer. So I had
Mhm.
less purple bottom and more red, and a bit more of the bone white at the top. I went with the somber grey as the base coat on the tunic, and then started to come up with the blues, and tried to do some highlighting, but it's come out a bit thick, so I need to work on that technique, and I haven't done the back yet. And yeah, the hammer hasn't changed much from earlier.
Yeah, but I like how bold it is. For sure. And those wings are phenomenal.
Cool, thank you. Hair will be brown, and yeah, skin tone when I get round to it. But
All
yeah.
the best people, Steve, have painted their angel with brown hair. I have it with good authority.
So, James, let's switch back to our big faces, people.
Oh, do you really want to subject people to my face?
There we go. So, if you had to pick a winner, James, who would you pick? And this is just purely for bragging rights.
Oh God, that's really hard. In my heart, I want to say Joe. It's not
Yeah.
easy.
But
No, that's fine. Don't have to say anything else.
But yeah, I think just from what I could see anyway, I think there was a really nice balance between the hammer and the wings, which are two very defining traits on this model. But you know, having said that, I think Dave, you've never done this before. You're a
No.
relative new. That hammer is wonderful. And Steve, those wings. I wish I had painted my wings like that. So it's very nominal to pick one person. I just think perhaps Joe's got an advantage in that he's perhaps a bit more used to painting Dave, but he's kind of in the time allotted done a more balanced all over piece.
yes.
So if you were to leave it like that and not touch it again, that's a bit more kind of ready to go, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah,
Cool.
don't ask me to pick who my favourite child is. You know, I like
Well done, Joe. I like the way, in my heart of heart, I would have picked Joe, but
No, that's it.
And Joe's like, yeah, but cool. Right, we are just nearly up to the 2 hours. We will wrap it up there, folks. Thank you, James, once again for joining us. We will let's get you into if you're up to doing more. Let's get you in to do some more. We'll pick some topics because this has all been for Pezos and WizKids Pathfinder Battles Wave 15. We've got a few more episodes to do with some other guests, but we'll see if we can get James back in, entice him with some more different kind of models and different kind of painting, which is always good. Right.
never no to free model.
Exactly. And anything else, guys? Anything I've missed?
What's coming up this week?
Loads of things.
We're back on Thursday.
We're back on
Yeah.
Thursday with Epic Encounters. Our Steamforged series continues. I can't tell you what we're playing yet because it's a little bit of a secret. But the players will find out later in the week. What What else we got? That's Thursday. Friday, we are doing. Hopefully, if we've already had to reschedule once, we're doing a live Q&A with Beadle and Grimm. So we're looking forward to that. Talking about their Kickstarter project, the Character Chronicles, which is coming to fruition very, very soon. And Saturday, if it all works out, we'll be doing our very first part 1 of a 2-part special limited series of Call of Cthulhu. And then, so that's Saturday evening, and then Sunday afternoon, you're back with Joe doing some War Badger.
Yeah.
And then a whole new week starts, and we do it all again. So check out our schedule. You can find it on our Twitch page. You can find it on our Facebook page. You can find it most places. But until that time, we're going to end it there, folks. James, thank you. Wonderful as always.
Yep, thank you.
Steve, Joe, I can't get rid of you. But see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.